And coming to you live once again, it's your boy Wex breaking the Lawson for another AEW Dynamite review. And as you can see, I'm wearing the Stone Cold vest this week, and that's in honor of the new season of Kayfabe Comparisons. New episode coming up this Saturday. It was a heads-up wrestling trivia game where we got a little drunk, and I agreed to wear the vest here on this episode for the formation of the new Holy Trinity of Daniel Schaefer, Jesse Baker, and Wesley Lawson going forward. So be looking for that new episode coming up this Saturday. Lots of crazy shit. We had a lot of fun. It's a good time. And without further ado, here is your Dynamite review for the week. The first matchup of the night, we saw the Young Bucks teaming up with SCU going up against TH2, the Hybrid 2, and the Acclaimed. Of course, the Acclaimed started off the match with your classic freestyle like they've been doing, and they had this little line talking about how they were the John Cenas and the Bucks were the Jannettis, which Jericho was like, "You can't say those names here, you can't say that name on commentary." Yeah, Jericho, by the way, killed it on commentary all night long. It was a great, high-flying, fast-paced match, all types of crazy shit. Matt Jackson got a really nice hot tag where he was hitting flipping sentons on everybody, a nice spear. Of course, Jack Evans doing all the shit, Fenix splash, standing fucking like Black Arrow looking type move. He was doing everything, and we got some nice submissions from Angelico too. I mean, they were really pulling out all the stops. It was a very entertaining match, and we got to see one of the moves that we never ever really get to see, a very rare one. It was Christopher Daniels of SCU doing the best moonsault ever into the tombstone, making it the best Meltzer driver ever for the 1-2-3 victory. It was a great match, but afterwards, Frankie Kazarian went ahead and let Christopher Daniels really know for sure that this next match we have, if we lose, we are broken up as a team. No more SCU, and they're challenging the Young Bucks for the titles next week. Basically, Christopher Daniels was like, "I'm going out with a big bang. If I don't win the titles, then that's it." And I will point out, I noticed Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian had their own version of Rap is Crap shirts. A nice throwback to WCW. Mr. Perfect, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Next up in the ring, we got the return of Jon Moxley back in AEW, and he cut a little promo, you know, talking about how he's fought and tough and this and that and badass. You know, it was a pretty solid promo, whatever. But one thing I kept noticing is his hair. You know, I'm not one to talk. My hairline's not the best. That's why I pretty much shave it off. Jon Moxley, he had the little DL Hart tuft going on, if you know who that is from Tim and Eric. It's like, if there was like a clear space of no hair and then just this little tuft, and I'm like, do like I did, do like other people do it. All the best wrestlers end up shaving their head bald, am I right? Come on now. Let's go ahead and join the club, buddy. Next up, we got a pretty cool little backstage segment with Miro and Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford right next to Chuck Taylor. Right next to Chucky T and Orange Cassidy, basically letting us know, as I pointed out a couple weeks ago, that old Trent is out with a pectoral tear. He pulled his pec. Just like we mentioned, the whole pec jokes. We're gonna get into the whole pec thing again. You know what I'm talking about. They basically set up the challenge for a match next week, and basically the loser of this match has to be the other wrestler's young boy for the next 2 weeks or until the wedding is or whatever. That's a little throwback to Japan, you know, the young boy thing, the little protege, as we all know. But I don't really know what's going to happen in this match, but hopefully it'll be fun. We'll have Orange Cassidy, you know, it'll be a good time. And the next match of the night is what I would like to call, what everyone likes to call, a goddamn hoss fight. We got Jake Hager taking on Wardlow, a little inner circle infighting battle match that was really just a pure display of power and athleticism between the two, especially from Wardlow, hitting all types of shit I've never seen him hit. Hit a swanton bomb off the top, as they call the Senton Atomico, because I guess WWE and Jeff Hardy, even though they had Matt Hardy. I don't know why I keep doing quotes, but yeah, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You get where I'm going. But I thought that was a pretty cool swanton, because after he hit the swanton, Jake Hager transitioned into like a choke, and you know, struggling for a minute, he got out of the ring. When it came down to it, your boy Wardlow hit the big F10 on Jake Hager, 1-2-3 victory. And after the match, I thought there was going to be a little hostility, but you know, they shook hands, you know, made up, inner circle, strong as ever, even though we got a little backstage segment later of, you know, Jake Hager all pissed off and MJF trying to give a little pep talk, but you know how things go. We're going to see if something's going to happen eventually with the inner circle. I was calling Sammy Guevara, but then we had this other tension here, other tension there. It can implode from anywhere. Next, we get a little backstage segment with Private Party, Matt Hardy, and Snoop D-O-double-G Snoop Dogg back there with him too, hanging out. And they were basically going over the new contract, this new deal they were setting up with Matt Hardy, where he would get a 30% booking fee, but you know, he was nice enough to still let them have all their own third-party stuff like Twitch, Cameo, all the stuff that WWE takes away. He was at least nice enough to let them have that. They signed it and celebrated, and that kind of ended the segment. Up next, we got the weigh-in for the TNT title match taking place next week on part 2 of the New Year Smash. It's kind of weird, and Taz kind of made a point, and Cameron actually made a point to me too and brought that up when we were talking about it. Why are you doing a weigh-in fully clothed? You're definitely going to put on some extra pounds with the jacket, as Taz pointed out for Darby Allin, but it doesn't really matter because Cage weighs 100 pounds more than Darby Allin, so I think they kind of got what they were trying to put over there with how much weight difference they had. Darby Allin looks pissed off, he cuts a nice little promo, and then he's ready to fight, and then you think Team Taz is all about to come whip his ass, and the lights go out, and it's Sting again. Sting comes out again and saves Darby from getting his ass whooped. So they got sort of a little unspoken alliance building here. Maybe he'll be ringside at his match, or maybe he'll appear if they try to do some fucky shit next week, but I guarantee you we will see Sting. And he did not do excessive pyro this week, your boy Cody Rhodes, but he did come down to the ring with Snoop Dogg with a remixed rap version of his theme song, and basically Snoop Dogg was being Cody Rhodes' manager for the night. He went up against Matt Sydal in a fucking fantastic match, actually. Even though I kind of hate on Cody sometimes for being very pompous, he always puts on a good match. He performs in the ring. He always gets the job done. I can never say anything bad about his work rate.
I can.
But I mean, really, this was a lot of submissions in this match. Matt Sydal actually doing a lot more submissions, a lot more ground-based stuff, and Cody actually doing a lot of high-flying, which, you know, he does sometimes, but a lot more than normal in this match. But it definitely worked out for him in the end, because he ended up winning, hitting a disaster kick, a couple crossroads for the win, and then after the match, Serpentico and Dr. Luther jump in the ring and start attacking him because they kind of smacked into him in the outside when they were brawling on the outside earlier in the match. They came in the ring and set up Serpentico up for Snoop Dogg to go up to the top rope and hit the worst looking splash I've ever seen in my goddamn life. It was more like a knee drop thing, Excalibur pointed out, but yeah, it was trash, but it was cool. It was the Snoop splash. I was fun to see, even though it looked like shit. I thought it was fun.
Fuck Snoop.
He looked like he was having a good time. He was pretty high probably and got even higher off that. He was probably like, God damn, I'm too high to be jumping off this shit right now, but he did. I mean, he did it. I give him his credit.
How old is Snoop?
He's getting close to 50. Like, he's in his late 40s for sure. And Jericho called him a 9 feet human piece of spaghetti. I thought that was fucking great. Brilliant on commentary, as I said, all night. That's where Jericho needs to move, is that permanent commentary role. When his in-ring career is done, which is probably going to be very soon, within the next year or two. You heard it here first. Alright, next we got the Women's World Championship match. Hikaru Shida defending against the fucking crazy demon bitch Avadon.
Woo! Jesus.
Is that bad? Is that...
That's okay.
I think that's how she portrays herself, right? When I say Avadon, I see her thing, I think of Abigail, the King Diamond song. Abigail, I just get that whole, you know, evil demon vibe going, even though it's not really demon, it's about some other shit, but you know what the fuck I'm talking about, King Diamond. So, Avadon versus Sheeda. It was a pretty crazy match at the very beginning. Before the match, Sheeda basically knocked the fuck out of Avadon with the kendo stick, and she just no-sold that shit and was just basically like, I don't give a fuck, we're gonna do this shit. And they brawled. It was a very hard-hitting, tough match. At one point, Sheeda goes for the knee lift on their apron, and Avadon grabs her and starts biting her on the leg, and then at one point pulls her under the ring and bites her neck, and she's just bleeding everywhere. You know, but Hikaru Shida has that fucking fighting spirit, and she's not gonna go down without a fight. And she hit the running knee for the victory. 1, 2, 3, retains the women's championship. Avadon still didn't look like a piece of shit losing. She still looked strong in defeat because of that crazy shit. You can definitely get into somebody's head, but I would like to see who is gonna be the next AEW Women's Champion. Hikaru Shida's held on to it for a long time. Maybe we'll get Britt Baker. Has to be a heel, right, since she's a face, because they like to do heel-on-heel, face-on-face action a lot, so you never know. That sounds like a porn, doesn't it? Some face-on-face action.
Face on. Oh no!
If you're gonna step into my world, get in my camera, get in my shot, and your ass is going to get stunned.
The only Dark Order segment we got of the night is Tay Conti cutting a little promo with Anna Jay, flanked by the recruitment specialist on each side. I'm doing a double Dark Order thing right now, but this is supposed to be Reynolds, this is supposed to be Silver. You get where I'm going. And she basically announced that she is the newest member of the Dark Order, and she is facing Serena Deeb next week for the NWA Women's World Championship. And she reminded her of her whole martial arts background and how she's ready to come whoop that ass, and she's going to be backed by the Dark Order, and she's going to take that belt, motherfucker. Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix for the AEW World Championship. I don't know if Kenny and Rey were in the back like, dude, we saw what they did at Wrestle Kingdom. We saw Naito and his neck, and we saw Ibushi, and we saw that shit. They're like, we gotta go out there and just tear the fucking house down, and that's what they did. God damn, dude, like, definitely contender for match of the year, like, even after Wrestle Kingdom. Like, these guys fucking killed it. Excalibur even referenced Kota Ibushi during this match, during a fucking sick-ass spot where Rey Fenix went to go do a dive over and flip into the cutter, but then Kenny Omega caught him into a fucking Snapdragon suplex on the outside. That was fucking fantastic. Fenix and Kenny Omega's athleticism together is just unmatched, unparalleled. The way they work together, the chemistry is just fucking beautiful. I haven't seen two guys work this good except for, I guess, at Wrestle Kingdom, goddammit. Like, these guys, there's only certain people who can pull shit off like that, and he's in that realm. They're on this fucking upper echelon, this upper level of performance. People say, wrestling, it's not a performance. Yes, it is a fucking performance. It's a goddamn performance art in its fucking highest upper tier. And holy shit, Fenix was selling his ass off, like, pulling off everything. They were doing crazy shit. He did a tope Conjuro through the middle rope. He got a sick-ass double stomp to the back of Kenny Omega's neck on the apron. There's this one sequence where he got V-triggered. Fenix went back, kicked up, super kick with his last bit of energy, both on the mat. Like, god damn it, it was just beautiful. And they had me so many times I thought Fenix was gonna win. My booty hole clenched a couple times. I was like, is he? But of course, you know, they're not gonna let him do it. But they had me for a second. They made me suspend my disbelief just for a minute to think that Fenix was gonna win. But oh my god, the fucking finish. Fenix goes to the top, he flips, Kenny Omega catches him in to a Tiger Driver 98, then V-triggers the fuck out of him, then hits the One-Winged Angel for the win, and goddamn it, just one of the best matches I've seen the whole year, which has only been like probably 4 or 5 good matches all year because it's only been like 7 days at this point, but goddamn it, that's going to be really hard to follow up for the rest of the year. They're setting the bar way up here. Like Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, Fenix, Naito, Jay White. I'll even toss Jeff Cobb and Shingo in their match too. Like, dude, these people were setting the bar way up here early in the year. So, but after the match is when we got the real shit. We see backstage Death Triangles getting their ass whooped by Eddie Kingston and the family, and they're like, fuck you, Fenix, we're ready to end your career. Then the Good Brothers come out of nowhere and just start whooping that ass. They start laying into him. All the other wrestlers from the side start to try to come and help. Boom, they're laying them out, laying everybody out. Then the Young Bucks come down and they're like, trying to talk reason, like looking a little conflicted. They're like, what's going on here? Like, what's going on? They're talking to him, trying to figure out what's going on, and then before you know it, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman grab Kenny Omega from behind, and then they start looking, and then boom, a super kick by either Nick or Matt Jackson, I don't remember, but a super kick, and then Kenny Omega, Gallows, Anderson toss up the 2 Sweet, and for the first time, if we just go ahead and hide, like, those people, you get the 5 of those guys back together for the first time. I don't know how long. The Super Elite reunited finally once again to close the show, and I'm a big fan first, so of course I'm screaming, marking out by myself, half drunk, because we just did a little podcast right before that. Fucking great show. That's the only match I truly got to watch live in its entirety. I had to go back and DVR and watch the other stuff from the beginning, but holy shit, match of the year. And this episode of Dynamite, it was just fucking great. Everything was good. There was no bullshit, no really filler, just all bang bang, wrestling, storyline furthering, goddamn good shit. We're gonna give this one a 5 out of 5, 2 sweets, because it was too fucking sweet. They got me hot.